What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be doing another fix on my 2022 Ram 3500. And for those of you that might not know, I just bought this truck used about 3 weeks ago. I ran a code scanner on the OBD2 port and I picked up a code which was B166B-13, and it was related to an open circuit in the back of the truck near the trailer lamp. Now, I wasn't exactly sure where to find the problems, so I took the truck to my local dealership and they did a diagnostics and found the problem, and the problem is at my rear tailgate. So let me show you what the problem is. Okay, so at the back of the truck, this is the issue that I found. So when I first picked the truck up, I noticed that there were some gouges in the top tailgate cap. Not a big deal, it's very common with trucks. So I wasn't worried about that because these top caps are pretty easy and cheap to replace. But after taking it to the dealership let me know that this rear tailgate was replaced. So I contacted the seller and I told them, hey, the dealership told me that the rear tailgate was replaced. So what really happened? And he did finally admit that when he was towing his fifth wheel trailer, there was a time where he forgot to put the tailgate down and backed up into his fifth wheel hitch, and it damaged the back of the tailgate. So he ended up going online and buying a replacement, authentic OEM Ram rear tailgate. So that's not the problem. The dealership did confirm that this is the correct tailgate, and this is what they found. If we come up under here, the dealership told me that this latch should have an LED light down here. Well, it doesn't, so that was number one. Number two, I also noticed that on the inside of the truck, when I put it in reverse, that my lens looked a little foggy in a couple spots, and the dealership confirmed that there were some scuff marks and scratches on this lens. Number three, when the dealership took this latch out, they showed me on the inside of the tailgate, there is an OEM harness back there that's supposed to plug into the latch to power the LED light. And that light harness is inside the tailgate with nothing plugged into it. And that is what is throwing the open circuit code on my truck. So the dealership gave me the part numbers that I needed to fix this, but the parts ended up costing me roughly around $300 for a new latch, a new light, and a new camera lens. But the dealership was going to charge me probably $400 in labor to do this swap. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it myself. Now, it really shouldn't be that hard. If you open up the tailgate, all we have to do is take a Torx bit and take out all of these bolts right here along this panel right here. That should give us access to the area behind the latch. And then we should just have to take a couple bolts out, and then we're going to take apart that whole latch system, and then we're going to have to put together the new ones. So let me go grab the new parts and I'll be right back to show you. Okay, so if we come in here, again, I bought all these parts separate. So this is the new rear tailgate latch housing. So this comes in a complete unit just like this. So we're going to set that back here off to the side. And then in this box over here is the LED light that is not on the current tailgate, but this is what was missing, which told the dealership that that latch is not the correct latch for this OEM tailgate. And then in this box here is the new camera lens, which looks like this. Okay, but for now, let me go ahead and take these Torx bits out and let's get behind this tailgate and let's get this started. Okay, so I just went ahead and removed all of these bolts on the back. These are a T30 bolt, and I just used this T30 bit right here to get them out. Once you take those bolts out, your panel pops right off. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, so it looks like these two bolts here are going to be a 10mm bolt. So let's go ahead and get those off. Set that aside. Okay, set that aside. There we go. Okay, so it looks like this is our main plug here. So I believe this plug here was the plug that is supposed to go to the LED light, which is obviously not mounted on here. So now we just got to go ahead and disconnect our harness for our camera. So right behind the camera, there's a harness here. So we're just going to press this little button here on the back and unplug it. And then this harness right here goes to the actuator that actually works the locks. So we're going to lift up that red tab, press in, unplug that. So now we have the old one completely unplugged. So what I need to do is down here, I need to mount the LED light, which if you look over here, the old one here doesn't have one. So this one here has the opening for the LED light. So the first thing I want to do is take these two bolts out right here and right here to get our main bracket out of the middle, because this right here is the bracket we're going to have to get access to put our camera lens in. But I need to remove that bracket so that I can actually install the LED light in the bottom of this latch assembly. And right now I'm just using a T20 Torx wrench to get these little screws out here. Okay, so I took the 4 Torx bolts out of the main latch assembly like that. And then right here is the bracket for the camera lens. We'll do that here in a second. For now, I want to go ahead up here and mount my LED light strip. These 2 little tabs right here at the bottom, okay, those should lock into these tabs here. So let's go ahead and slide that in. And then that should just kind of roll into place. And once you line up your light inside the front up here, all you gotta do is put a little bit of pressure and it pops into place, and then your bolt holes line up over here. Now, what I need to do is mount my new camera lens to this bracket right here. And remember, this bracket here mounts on that bracket. So when you're sitting here like that with the latch opening towards the top, your lens is going to face out, but you want this top little harness here to be facing out the top over here. So you want it to look like that, and it looks like it just pops in just like that. So just kind of holds itself in place. Then you're going to take your lens and pop it right back into there, and then everything should pop back into place and everything lines up. Okay, so now that we have our camera mounted to the bracket and we have the bracket sat back in place on the assembly here, again, you're not going to put your bolts in just yet, because now we have to take our actuator assembly. So you're going to hold the assembly here with the actuator towards the bottom, because you want these 2 little tabs right here and here, you want those to line up over here and here at the big hole opening. So you're going to line those up just like that, and then it drops right down on top of the bracket holding your camera lens. And now we just put our 2 bolts in there and there. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so I went ahead and we got our latch assembly mounted to the main bracket here. We have our camera lens mounted in the bracket, which is sitting right there perfectly flush. And now we have our LED light mounted to the bracket underneath here. So far everything looks really good. So now all we have to do is plug everything back in. So if we come back over here, we're going to take this tab right here with the red tab. That goes to the actuator. Plug that in. Lock that in, okay? This pink one right here goes to the pink one on the back of the camera. So we're going to go ahead and slide that one on. Okay, everything's locked in there. And then this blue one is going to plug in over here to our LED light that we just installed. So we're going to plug that one in. Okay, now we're good. So now let's just go ahead, tailgate's shut. Now let's go ahead and try our actuator. Perfect. So now all we have to do is tuck our harness back in there, and then we got to get this back mounted. So now I'm just going up under here, just looking, making sure nothing's getting stuck here. There. Okay. Okay. So if we come back up here and look, our new bolts that are attached to the housing popped right through. All we got to do is take our nuts, put them on, tighten it up, make sure our harnesses are plugged back in, and we should be good. So let me go do that real quick. Okay, I'm going to hand tighten this one just because I don't want to over tighten these bolts using my impact gun. look at it, make sure everything's flush. Everything feels pretty good. Okay, so all my harnesses are back where they need to be. My bolts are nice and tight, but again, don't over tighten these bolts because they're just mounted to a plastic bracket. So you don't want to tighten these two bolts down so tight that you're actually going to crack the plastic housing. So at this point here, we're all done. Everything's hooked up. I got all my harnesses plugged back into where they need to be plugged in at. Everything's good to go. The last thing to do is mount our top plate back on the tailgate. But before you do that, I would recommend making sure your LED light works. Because again, this LED light right under here should turn on when you turn on the light over there. So if we come over here, hit our bottom button here, which illuminates the lights for the bed. So as you can see here, the LED light is turned on up there. Now if we come over here, the LED light is lit up under there. So now we are good to go. So now the LED light works, so it lights up under here. And the purpose of this light is also shining down so that when you're backing up to, say, a trailer hitch, this light up under here is going to shine down and light up this area for you a little bit, making it easier to see when you're mounting your trailer hitch. So now that we have that verified, try our actuator. Opens perfectly, everything's good to go. Now at this point, we can go ahead, put our top bracket back on, put all of our Torx bit bolts back in place, and then we're all good to go. So let me do that real quick and we'll be right back. Okay, so now we're in the truck and I want to go ahead and put it in reverse and test out how the new camera looks. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse. Okay, everything looks really good. Let me back up a little bit. Yeah, everything looks much better now. Okay, because the problem I had before was up here, there was a big like smudge. It almost looked like there was like fog or condensation in the lens. So it was up here, and then there was like a little spot like over here and a little spot over there. It just looked like there was condensation in the actual lens, and the dealership told me that there was actually scuffs and scratches on the lens. That's why it was showing as a blurry look. But so far, all that looks really good. Now again, keep in mind, it's nighttime outside, so my camera's not going to look as good right now because of how it's picking up the light, but it actually looks pretty good. So again, when you're in reverse, when you're looking down at the trailer hitch, you can hit this little plus and minus sign to look at, do you want to see a straight up and down photo of your hitch, or do you want to see more of an open look of your hitch? If you hit this button here, it shows you the whole bed. You can actually see that. Okay, everybody, so we're all done. So we went ahead and we replaced the tailgate latch system on my 2022 Ram 3500. Overall, the installation was very simple and easy, so I ended up getting a new actuator pad that works a lot better. I got a new camera lens, which looks a little bit better on the screen, and I got the LED light installed so that when you turn your cargo lights on, the tailgate latch lights up where you're going to be hooking up to a trailer, and that works again now. So we are all good to go, and I don't have any more codes showing on the dash right now. So it looks like this fixed the problem. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope this video helps some of you out. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button and like this video. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And also do me a favor, subscribe to the channel because it definitely helps me out and I greatly appreciate it. So that's it. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you. I truly appreciate you all. And as always, see you in the next video.